Current tag team champions to be challenged by Alpha and Sika, the Wild Samoans, but this time a law and order and totally impartial referee in Golden Boy, Arnold Skaaland. He certainly has the credentials. Moondog's on the card. Ugandan Giant Kamala will be there, Junkyard Dog, and many others, including a man who's got a very busy schedule as he travels throughout the world and the World Wrestling Federation, Andre the Giant. In the Meadowlands Arena on Saturday night the 15th, a couple of weeks away, you have got Rowdy Roddy Piper. You're actually, I think, looking forward to this match, are you not?
I look good for that match, believe me, because Piper, after what he did, I couldn't wait to get in that ring, but I'm very happy to be in that same card because Blassie, before he got the Sheik, was the world champion, one of the best ones, he said. Then he take John Stott, claim nobody can give him the slam.
Right.
I still give him the slam. I submit him right in there in the middle line. I give him the slam in the cage match. I beat him 1, 2, 3 in the middle. But now he's coming with that big guy, Kala, and he called that guy the Giant, too.
You know, it's just incredible. Of course, you've got to consider the source, Fred Blassie, Andre.
Fred Blassie, I don't know where you're going to pick up those guys. See, that guy is from Uganda, but I'd like to see his passport if he's real from Uganda.
Well, I've checked into that, and it's well documented. He is from
probably
Uganda.
already passport in there anyway.
Well,
but before I finish and before I get out, Roddy Piper, good luck.
Very short and a very simple message directed at Rowdy Roddy Piper. I certainly hope he was listening. Andre the Giant of the Meadowlands on the 15th. Don't miss it.
Would you like...
On the Saturday night, September the 22nd. Come on in. Jesse the Body Ventura. Talking about opportunities, my goodness. You with an opportunity to meet Hulk Hogan for the world's title. What is this hat? That is something I've never seen before.
Let me tell you something. I just got back from a dear friend of mine's funeral. Truman Capote. And you know, I only go to major league funerals. The last one before this was Yuri Andropov. I flew all the way to Russia. That's right.
Let me ask you a question.
No. Don't you ask me nothing right now, Mean Gene. I got things to talk about. The incredible Chump Hogan. You know, Chump, you've been running, you've been hiding from Jesse the Body. You even sent your little gremlin Paduski, figuring Paduski would get the Body out of the way. Well, it didn't happen, Chump. I did in Paduski. And now I'm gonna do you in. You know, Mean Gene, you ever heard of a male witch?
I've heard of a lot of things, but not a male witch.
Well, you're gonna meet one now. Because, incredible Chump, a lot of people have been asking me, can you lift the 305 pounds into the overhead body vise and put the crush on Hogan? Well, I'll tell you what, Chump Hogan, it's a thing called mind over matter. I'm gonna levitate you right into the air, Chump Hogan.
David Copperfield.
I'm gonna levitate you right up onto my shoulders. And the World Wrestling Federation Championship belt right with it. Incredible, Chump. And you're going down. Because you bear in mind, Chump, you ain't messing with no Rocky Balboa no more. No more Sylvester Stallone. You got Jesse the Body.
Title defense, Hulk Hogan. The challenger, Jesse the Body Ventura, Madison Square Garden on the 22nd.
City, the Hulkster's coming home, man. Madison Square Garden. That is the combat zone. And you know something? In New York, Madison Square Garden, I feel like I'm my own bedroom daddy, and nobody beats you up when you're home.
They don't for sure. Jesse the Body Ventura has got eyes on your heavyweight title belt. He's made no bones about the extremes he'll go to get that belt.
You know me, Gene, when I step in the combat zone, when I know who the #1 contender is, I always go out and study the films. I look on his background, see what kind of win-loss record, see what kind of shape he's in. Well, I went checking around about Jesse the Body, Jesse the Nobody. I can't find any films, man. I can't find anything to see his win-loss record or what kind of shape he's in. So it had me worried a little bit. So I had to go into little psychic powers, man. I had to go to Venice Beach, California, Gold's Gym, put the key in the secret door in the back room, in the special mirror on the wall. I said, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the baddest of them all? And how does Jesse Ventura stand? And the mirror said, Huckster, you're a dummy, man. You know you're the baddest of them all. You're bad to the bone, Daddy. And Jesse the Body looks like your shadow at high noon. You know, that made me feel real good, Mean Gene. But also, I've been watching the annex Jesse Ventura's been pulling on people, like the Polish power. And that eats at my stomach, man, is Jesse Ventura. I can't wait to get you in, but just make sure you wear those long paisley tights so I don't snap your leg off because I might think it's your arm.
The Garden on the 22nd. You will not want to miss it. Really.
For more exciting World Wrestling Federation action in the Boston Garden, get ready. Saturday night, September the 8th, 1 week from tonight, another gigantic World Wrestling Federation spectacular. On that card, Andre the Giant to meet Rowdy Roddy Piper. There's a gigantic six-man tag that includes the Wild Samoans, Alpha and Sika, plus Sergeant Slaughter on one side. And the opposing trio will be World Tag Team Champions Adrian Adonis, Dick Murdoch, and Captain Lou Albano. In a return bout, B. Brian Blair to meet Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. Come on in if you would, please. Great Indian star from Oklahoma, perhaps the greatest Indian wrestler ever. I'm talking about Chief Jay Strongbow, back of the World Wrestling Federation, a former United States Olympian. As a weightlifter in 1972, Ken Patera, big man, strong man, your opponent here in town at the Boston Garden 1 week from tonight.
Gene, I had problems with Ken Patera one time before. As you know, he injured Billy White Wolf, broke his neck in a match in Philadelphia, and I haven't forgot that, and I know Billy hasn't either. He's been out of wrestling for quite a while, and I'm concerned about Ken Patera because I like to be around for a while, too. I don't want to use that on me either.
Physically, the man certainly is capable of doing the kind of damage that you alluded to earlier. Ken Patera somewhere in the neighborhood at 270, 275 pounds. Perhaps the strongest man in this great sport of professional wrestling. Would not you agree, Chief?
I have to agree with that. He was the first man in history to put 500 pounds over his head, so he's got to be a powerful man.
Indeed, he is, and indeed he will continue to be so. By the way, Ken Patera is somewhat of an island. The man stands virtually by himself. However, he does have some encouragement from the sidelines.
Yeah, I hate to even talk about the sidelines, but Ken Patera is my main concern, and as the folks around the Boston area know that I'll be ready for him.
Very good. I thank you very much. Chief Jay Strongbow to meet Ken Patera, one of the great matches on the sensational card coming up 1 week from tonight here in town at the Boston Garden. By the way, also on that card, the fabulous Freebirds. I know you've heard a great deal about them, to do battle with Rex and Spot, the Moondogs. In addition, Andre the Giant to meet Rowdy Roddy Piper, plus that gigantic six-man tag. All in all, it is going to be a gigantic night at the Boston Garden that you will not want to miss. Stay tuned. We're going to be right back. Stay tuned for more exciting World Wrestling Federation action. Coming up 1 week from tonight here in Boston at the Boston Garden, the World Wrestling Federation is going to be back in town. And what a fantastic card. Andre the Giant to meet Rowdy Roddy Piper. Piper might have really dug a hole for himself in going against the biggest professional athlete in the world today, the gigantic Andre. In addition, on that card, six-man tag team bout that truly is going to be something else. In addition, in a return match, B. Brian Blair will be going against Mr. Wonderful, self-proclaimed, I might add, Paul Orndorff. On the card, the fabulous Freebirds to meet the Moondogs, Rex and Spot, Chief Jay Strongbow to go against Ken Patera. If I may, I am going to run this man down right now. He is perhaps one of the top contenders for virtually every title available to the World Wrestling Federation today. I'm talking about Greg the Hammer Valentine to go against veteran Rick McGraw, Quick Draw McGraw.
That's what they call him, Quick Draw McGraw. Anybody that knows anything about wrestling around Boston the last few years knows something about Quick Draw McGraw. Not too tall, maybe about your height or even shorter, but the man is a pistol. A low center of gravity, he can move around that ring. Quick Draw McGraw, I am looking forward to signing this contract to wrestle you at Boston Garden, a big card, Andre against Piper, Blair against Orndorff. Quick Draw McGraw, I know that you're going to want to set an impression and an example and show everybody in Boston that you are ready for the top, for the big leagues. But you're not going over the hammer.
Well, one thing that comes to mind as I speak to you at this particular point in time, Greg Valentine, the fact that every victory, very, very important for you from here on out, and a loss, of course, as you know, could be devastating. You can't underestimate anybody.
Well, you understand, Mean Gene, I will do anything to win. I am a wrestler. I'm a basic wrestler. But when the going gets tough, I get tougher. And Quick Draw McGraw, you don't have the guts and the stamina to stay with me for too long of a time, because I will crank on the figure 4 leg lock. I will see you carried out. I don't have to just pin you. I will see you carried out if I want to, because I am your master.
Well, that remains to be seen. It happens 1 week from tonight here in town at the Boston Garden. Greg the Hammer Valentine and others. Stay tuned. We're right back. The best in the World Wrestling Federation, part of the next great card. 1 week from tonight at the Boston Garden, 8 o'clock start. According to the sources that I'm in contact with here in town, still plenty of blue chip tickets are available. Now on that card, once again, I remind you, Chief Jay Strongbow to meet Ken Patera, a new and viable force in the World Wrestling Federation. The Freebirds, fabulous Freebirds, Michael Hayes and company to meet the Moondogs. Greg the Hammer Valentine on the card, return bout Blair to go against Orndorff, 6-man tag. And high atop of that card, Rowdy Roddy Piper, the very controversial host of Piper's Pit, is going to have to face the music, so to speak. Man that is so tall in our studio, he virtually hits the ceiling. I am talking about Andre the Giant. And certainly there is no love lost between you and Mr. Piper, Andre.
Not at all, Jim, because the last time I was in the garden was in the tag match. Myself and Jimmy Snuka against Dr. Schultz and Roddy Piper. And after what happened, I promised myself and I promised the wrestling fans, I'm going to get Piper 1-1, anywhere in the world. But I got the chance to come back in the Madison Square Garden.
Actually, in the Boston Garden. It's going to happen here a week from tonight.
And believe me, Roddy Piper, you may be a tough guy. You may be wrestling a good wrestler, or you wrestling the way you don't. But I gotta tell you one thing. I know how to wrestle. I've been wrestling for quite a while. I never lost a match. But believe me, when we come back in Boston, Roddy Piper, you better be ready, because I don't go to give you any chance. After what you did to me, I promise that to the wrestling fans, I'm going to get you down.
You know,
and
Andre,
there's no one can I say that on TV what I got in my mind, believe me, but
I've got a pretty good idea. I can just sense it. The one thing I must say is Roddy Piper is not going to be involved in a verbal battle. Not a battle of words. Indeed, it's going to be of wrestling.
This time there's no way can I get my back to you, Roddy Piper. This time you have to be in front of me. And I'm going to stay. I'm going to keep you in there as long as I want.
I thank you very much. He is the 8th wonder of the world, one of the biggest men in professional sports today, Andre the Giant, to meet Roddy Piper a week from tonight, the Boston Garden.